Hello, everyone,
Hello.
and welcome to the Coffee Klatsch. For
Time
those of
out.
you,
I gotta. If we're gonna start, if we're not doing any pre-show anything, I need to get the Instagram in here.
okay,
Give me
sorry
2
about
seconds.
that.
I thought we were gonna have like a little,
I
like a
asked you if
second.
you, I asked you if you were ready.
I thought you meant like ready to get on camera and get our pre. It's early. I haven't had any coffee. I didn't even eat my Ollie gummies.
Okay,
I gotta turn the volume down. Okay. Instagram. Create. Live video.
well, Ronald and I have been banging out the puzzle while
I noticed.
you noticed, huh?
Coffee Klatsch. Oh. Klatsch. Number 60. Public. Next. Copy. Right? Everybody on time today. It's crazy. Okay, let's see. I copied the Instagram stream key. I'm waiting for the preview to show up. Okay, we've got the preview, so I'm gonna 3, 2, 1 live it, and then we'll do the proper intro.
Okay, so do I need to put the regular banner back up?
Yes, now you can put the regular banner back up.
Okay.
I just didn't want to pull Instagram in early because remember last time the preview counted for my
Yeah.
stream time, and so it cut it early.
I remember.
And minimize ye old crossword.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. We are live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coffee Klatsch, live on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you are joining us from Instagram, welcome. I know you haven't been with us for the last year. And those of you who are our ride or dies on YouTube, welcome to you as well.
What up?
I am Dani, the distracted dame.
And I am Artemis, her child, also known as Maya, if you want to call me that. Either one. I am okay with either one. I've had several people ask, which do you prefer? I honestly don't really care. Like, if you already know me as Maya, you can call me Maya. It is not going to bother me. If I introduce myself to you as Artemis and you found out later that my name was Maya and you want to call me Maya, I do not care. I feel like Artemis suits me a little bit better, but like in the way that some people like have a nickname, like if my name was Alexander and you're like, do you prefer Alex or Alexander? Both of them are my name. You can call me either.
Thank you for that explanation.
Yes,
For
I had
those-
more people ask again.
For those who are new, every once in a while you got to get that out there.
Exactly.
And also, for those who are new, if you're wondering what we do around here, we are your audio ambiance. We are your background sound. We are here to keep you company while you do the dishes. Avoid listening to your boss on that Zoom call. Or I see you. I know you've been rotting in bed for a week. I know it's hard. The FBI came and raided your house and carted off your fiance. But trust me, we are here to help you back into the land of the living. Because he was no good anyway.
He was no good.
He was defrauding people. He was stealing their money.
Honestly, you should have been on Who Did I Marry?
So we are here to help you get out of that bed and get started with your life.
Ronald said never should have hung out with that sewer water. That is a reference to our gaming streams on Friday. And hello everybody in the Instagram.
That last bit I can't take credit for. That last bit is the opening. I mean, not word for word, but that scenario is the opening to the book that I am currently reading, which we can talk about later if we get to it.
Okay, absolutely.
So we are a little housekeeping. We're going to do things a little bit different today. For the past several weeks, we've been starting with our life updates and then kind of meandering into other stuff. But I know that the majority of people who subscribe to me initially found me because of all the project videos on,
and people on Instagram follow me because of my business stuff and because I'm just so darn cute. So
we've decided we're going to flip it for a couple weeks and see how that goes. We're going to start with the yarn on top, because that's what the yarn and business on top, because that's what people come for, the crafty stuff, and then we'll get to the ramblings a little bit later.
Yes.
But since this is a coffee Klatsch, before we get there, we do need to acknowledge the beverage in our cups. What's in your cup?
Leftover Sprit.
Oh, that is sad.
It's from yesterday.
That is sad. Although I can't talk because I can't finish a 16 ounce. It takes me hours to finish a 16 ounce bottle of anything, soda, water, anything.
Honestly, that's why I don't like having. I've got a can over here that I need to. Actually, let me just start. I'm gonna try right here. But Wayne will buy cans of soda when they're on sale, like Starry or Sprite or something, to have it.
But you keep putting the top back on there.
Exactly. And I have a bad habit of opening a can because I really just want like 3 sips of something, opening a can, and then I sit it there and then I forget that it's full, and then I go and open a secondary can. I've got room service. And then I go and open a secondary can, forgetting that I had the other can. And so I've got like 3 half-full cans of Bevy sitting on my desk.
More mini pancakes today?
Yes, more mini. And look at how cute they are laid out. And he did the little lemon wedge with my pancake again. It's so cute.
Lovely. I am finishing off a natural peanut butter and raspberry preserves on butter bread, which I prefer this bread because it has no like a natural, it's almost like you baked it at home.
Ooh, nice.
You do have to kind of either keep it in the fridge or use it up fast because it molds faster.
Oh, okay.
But I prefer, it's really nice and soft. It makes good sandwiches. I like it a lot. It's a little bit more expensive than it's like $3 for a loaf, where the Walmart bread is like $1.50 a loaf. Yeah. But I just like it better.
Ooh, Ronald just finished cheese grits.
Don't make that face. Cheese grits. If you eat the cheese grits immediately after you fix them, they're good. For me, that is even remotely cold. They're gross.
That is if you like grits at all, which I do not. I do not like grits. Okay, so let's move on. I'm gonna take a bite of this pancake and then we'll move on.
Okie dokie.
So I had last Saturday Fay Nectar, my first big Fay Nectar, or my second, I think, big Fay Nectar market of the season. I'm going to write down for you the amount of money that I made at that market. And I want everybody in the chat to take a guess. So whether you take a guess, Ronald, you take a guess, Ari, if you're lurking somewhere, you take a guess.
You said your big Fay Nectar market?
Mm-hmm. It is the most amount that I've made at a market so far. Don't guess wild now, because you know I price stuff low. But
well, I was about to give a wild guess anyway because I can't help it. See, yeah, Ronald guessed 500.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is 300.
Okay, I don't price stuff that low. This is how much I made.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I'm so sorry I wasn't there to see it. I'm so proud.
It was my first market making that much, and we didn't even realize till we got to the card, because there's the cash and there's the card transactions. in the card transactions, I can just pull up today's sales and see. Ooh, Uncle guessed in the Instagram chat 450. Not even close. It was a big one. It was a big market. Yeah, what comes with that, Ronald, is because he said selling all those amigurumis. What comes with that is I sold out of amigurumis. So every single one of those amigurumis that I showed last week, all of the mini ones,
your bucket of amis.
Yes, my bucket of amigurumis. Every single one of them is gone except for I think I have the mini snake left, and I have the mini snake and one thing. I think I have one frog, the mini snake and one big leggy frog, not baby leggy frog. And I sold. Remember the sweater that I made? The sweater sold.
You sold the sweater?
Yes, and
you priced that sweater like at $100 or something?
No, I dropped the price like towards the end because there was one girl who was like eyeballing it towards the end of the market, and I was like, I'll give it to you. I think I dropped it to like 60. Like I dropped it pretty low, but I was like, if you really, really want it, like sure, let's just add some extra money on here, make today a good day. Ooh, except definitely not Ronald. All that money's going towards rent and cruise money. But I got a couple pictures I'm gonna pull up on the stream because I didn't get very many pictures, but I got 2 pictures of people who bought products that I want to pull up because they're just cute. I need to take more of them, but let me pull up this. Hello, open.
I'm not ignoring you, by the way. I happen to be, I'm coloring while I'm listening to you.
I figured.
How did you figure?
Pull this in. You had your concentration face on.
I do not have a concentration face.
You do. Okay, so this is what we looked like that day. Very cute. Love it. This is actually probably my favorite picture, one of my favorite pictures of us, because Wayne has like what feels like a genuine like smile instead of like looking nervous, which is I feel like what he looks like a lot of the time. Let's see. And then this is so what you guys didn't get to see is after last stream, I made
we're gonna acknowledge that, Ronald, by the way, as soon as she finishes talking about the market.
Yes. I made 8 squids and I made another dragon. So this is the other dragon that I made. And I made it out of Bernat. It's where's that yarn that is sitting directly beside me? It's this yarn here.
And you did the fire again?
Yes. And I was selling him with the egg, but this person was like, can I buy him without the egg? And so we knocked off, like, I got that egg for like $5 at Party City because I had a discount. So I took the egg back, so I'm just going to put another dragon in the egg at the next market that I do. But yeah, they didn't want the egg. They really just wanted the dragon by itself. And so there was that one. And then my doll. My doll sold.
You sold the doll?
Yes, my doll sold $110. My doll sold.
Oh, cute.
Yes. Cute. But my table was like empty by the time it was time to go. Like there were basically no amigurumis left. I had 6 potion bottles. I have 3 left now, so I need to make some more to catch up. Yeah, Uncle, your brother in the Instagram chat. Yes, absolutely a multitasker. I'm doing a lot. I did not as many henna.
I was about to ask.
I did some henna, yeah. I did some henna, not as much henna as I normally do, not as much henna and face paint as I normally do. And I think part of the issue is that there was that same day, we didn't find out until like we were there and people were talking about it, but there was a fairy market in Columbus that was going on. So a lot of people are coming from, like, they went to the fairy market in Columbus and then came straight to Lake Lure and came to this as well. And so there were kids walking around that already had face paint because they got face paint from that lady over there. Yeah. But I still did do some faces. I still did do some faces. The just some highlights of the day. There was this little girl who bought. I made the black and yellow snake that looked like a bumblebee. There was this little girl who was obsessing over that, and she wanted it. And so her parents bought her for it. And for the entire rest of the market, you could see her walking around, holding that snake by its neck, dragging it across the ground. It was so funny because she was just like dragging that little snake. And every time I went to go like talk to another like friend, like whenever I had a second to go talk to other vendors and stuff, they were like, I saw this little girl dragging around this snake. And I was like, yes. It was so funny. But there was that. I got some good purchases out of that market as well. I'm going to take some proper pictures and put them on the Discord just because I feel like they're not going to get shown very well here. But I got, I traded the dragonfly scarf that I made. I traded the dragonfly scarf for a ring from my friend next door. It was like a $45 ring. So we did a nice little trade for that. And then because we like saw that our sales were doing pretty good before we had fully counted the sales, we saw that the sales had done pretty good. And so I went and got a dress that there was a vendor who was selling dresses that were like very like Renaissance style dresses. Cause I'm trying to have more outfits. That way I'm not, every time I go to a market, I'm not like, what am I going to wear? The one shirt that I always wear is like in the laundry or whatever. So I've got a dress that I can kind of wear and that looks that honestly, I was a little worried that it was going to fit, but it fits very, very nicely. And I don't normally like dresses that are like, it comes kind of straight down and it doesn't have like a high waist or anything, or it's not like belted. It's got like a corsety bit in the front, but I normally like my dresses to be like kind of belted, but this one, even when it's not belted, I feel like looks pretty good on me. So I'm going to try to take a picture of that and put it on the Discord as well.
Cool.
But so that was that market. To catch up on other markets that are coming up, we have next Wednesday is the first Weaverville market, which the Weaverville market falls directly after our stream. So basically I'm going to do our stream, take everybody to work, and then go to market. So I need to get up early on Wednesdays from now on so I can be ready for that. But next Wednesday is the Weaverville market. Next Friday is First Friday. Next Saturday is the first Mars Hill market. And then
it's time for First Friday again already?
Yes.
That's for those who haven't been here before. First Friday is when you that's the market that the city puts on.
Yeah, it's in Mars Hill, and they put on just a big market for everybody, and the local businesses also get involved, and I think do like sales.
Chamber of Commerce, that's what it is.
Yes.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yes. And they hire me to do free face paint for the kids because they have a kids corner, so they hire me to do free face paint for the kids. So next Wednesday is Weaverville market. Next Friday, so not this upcoming Friday, but next Wednesday, next Friday is First Friday. The Saturday directly after that is the first Mars Hill Farmers Market. And then the Sunday directly after that is the market that you and I are going to in Charlotte. So I need to build up my stock because I have at least 3 markets that I need to sell at in the next week and a half.
Yes, you do. You need you sold practically everything, so you need to build up your stock. Yes,
I've been frantically stressing out about that, but I've been working on some stuff, so I can show you some of the stuff that I got done. Not very much, but so I got, and then after this, you can talk because I need to eat my mini pancakes. But I found a different witch hat pattern that, because I really like the old witch hat pattern that I was using, but it just took a long time.
That's not good. I picked a color that was too close to the other color. Darn it.
It sounded like there was another thought in there.
Did you, since you haven't eaten yet and I've already eaten, I can go ahead and do a little bit of stuff while you eat your pancakes.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll show you my couple things. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, if you don't know me, people, Mama doesn't like to spend money.
Nope.
Yes, I called myself Mama. It's a shame and a disgrace. Anyway,
honestly, it's not a disgrace to anyone but you. You're the only one that doesn't like it.
Yeah, I don't like to call myself Mama. I mean, if you call your mother Mama, that's fine. I don't like to be called Mama. Anyway,
did you forget something in another room?
Yes.
Go get your thing. I'll stall with the people.
Goodness gracious. I thought I was doing so well. I had everything all. What did you do?
What did who do? What are you talking about?
I'll be right back.
Sure. Maybe I can get some words in here.
Oh.
Let's see. Let me get up. Ooh, let me put the words on stream thing, or not words on stream. Let me put the crossword chat and the Instagram as well. So everybody on Instagram, follow the link I'm about to give you, and you can join this crossword. There we go. Got that in the chat. And now time for, I forgot to mention while she was here that there was another market that contacted me. I will wait until she gets back. All right. Let's open up. You would think I would just have a Hovercats like tab always open. I need to get rid of some of my tabs. I've got 55 tabs currently. It's honestly a nightmare. Let's see.
Okay.
Boat with a lot of drawers.
I'm back.
Okay.
So, without going into too much about me, as we said last week, spring is here, and I don't know if it's the time of year or just my particular weird brain, but it's that time I'm going through the period of, I go through phases periodically through the year where I feel like I can do everything. And so I make all kinds of plans and make all kinds of lists and make all kinds of whatever. And so I'm in one of those phases right now. So I spent money. So why are you shaking your head?
Can't be my mother. Spend money.
And before we go on to that, you keep eating. But I said that we would acknowledge Ronald wanted to say thank you because you helped him with his button band on his cardigan. So you helped him figure it out.
You're welcome.
So
sure. I am a master at faking my way through things. So,
well, that's how I learned how to crochet, was teaching myself through books and faking it till I got it right. So,
also, I read a lot of patterns that are not written very well at all because I read a lot of free patterns, and in free patterns, you don't need to take the time to you don't feel the money pressure to take the time to make sure that everything is super, super clear. It's like, if you get it, you get it. You don't, it's free. So I read a lot of like, not the best written patterns.
I get you.
Ooh, pick on the Discord. But continue with your thoughts, Mother, while I go to look at the picture on the Discord.
So he just has the sleeves and pocket left. So cool. I can't wait to go over to our Discord to take a look at that. And the Discord link is in our About section. and it may be in the link to this video if one of us gets around to putting it there.
It looks so good, Ronald. It looks so polished.
Oh God. So, in case you hadn't figured it out, I talked to Maya about this earlier, but I bought some hooks, and I have this lovely. I bought a set of Tunisian hooks for $12, which already people say, "Oh, that's too cheap. You should really, invest the $100 and get a good set." And I'm like, the hell you say? So I'm not gonna pull the whole thing out. But this is, nice bamboo hook. It's nice and smooth. I love it. Somehow it's got the size marked on it nicely. I don't know if you can see that, but love it. Smooth, works great. Can't find the rest of the set, somewhere lost in this house. There's 11 other hooks around this house that I've lost. And I felt like I needed a different hook, a smaller hook for the project that's in this bag. So, which we'll talk about later. So I bought some cheap hooks, and I was going to buy some more $12 bamboo hooks, but then, being the cheap person that I am, I bought the $7 plastic hooks from Walmart. Okay. And they got here on Saturday. That was the other deciding factor. They were going to get here quick, because when I go through this phase of, I want to do all these things, I want to have the supplies now. So I bought this, and I'm scared to open this bag because I got them. And you go on these forums and they say, "Oh, don't buy the cheap plastic hooks. They have that cheap plastic smell, blah, blah, blah." And every time I've read that in the past, I've thought, "Oh, you're just being bougie." Okay. Some of us don't have that much disposable income. So I'm going to buy the cheap hooks. Like, I bought those cheap bamboo hooks and they worked perfectly for me. Okay. So I'm not going to have a problem with this. I bought these cheap plastic hooks. I opened that box. They stink to high heaven. No, I don't even want to taint heaven that way. They stink to the depths of hell. They smell. Okay. And so I went online trying to find different ways to get the smell out of them. And I've had these soaking in vinegar and water since Saturday, and it hasn't helped, because I'm opening this bag now and my eyes are watering and my nose is stinging. This is not an exaggeration.
Even after the vinegar soak?
Yesterday, when I took them out yesterday, they smelled like vinegar. Like the vinegar was kind of covering up, but I could smell the bad smell under it. But I thought, well, the vinegar's kind of covering it up, so maybe this will be tolerable. But now the vinegar's gone, and it's just the bad smell.
Is that the same bag that they came in? Do you think this smell might
No, this is a regular grocery bag that I just put them in to bring them upstairs. But on top of that, the funny thing was these were wrapped in, they had like a rubber band around them to keep them together. And these must have been hot off the press, because where the rubber band was around these things, I know you won't be able to see it, but where the rubber band was around these things, there is a ridge right there where the rubber band was just, and it's on all of them except for the ones that were like right in the middle that didn't touch the rubber band. So these must have been just hot off the press and thrown in the box.
Fresh made hooks.
These are just, I don't know what to do because they smell awful.
I didn't realize they made crochet hooks made to order now. They don't make them until you order them. They slap a rubber band on them.
It was, and I used one on Saturday because I said I was eager to start this project. So I, rubbed them down with alcohol and some of the paint came off. And so I told you, fresh.
So fresh.
And the smell kind of felt like it was going away, but the smell really just went into the yarn. So now when I finish this project, I'm going to have to wash it before I give it, which I kind of sometimes do anyway, depending on, because even though I don't have cats and stuff, I feel like, it's kind of nicer to just go ahead and wash it. So, oh no, they weren't from Temu. I bought them from
Walmart.
I bought them from Walmart, but Walmart, has turned into one of those places where they just fulfill the order, but other people are like drop shipping through Walmart just like they do through Amazon
and Etsy.
They're doing their and what?
And Etsy. They're live drop shippers on Etsy now, which is basically ruined the platform.
So these were from some unpronounceable name, or unpronounceable by an American who does not speak another language. Let's not be insulting, because it looked like an Asian name. And so I'm not going to return them, Ronald. They've already come out of the package and everything, and it's not, and I don't know how returns work for these things that are like fulfilled by Walmart but came from somebody else, if that makes sense. Like if it was something that came directly from the Walmart store, then I would, go ahead and return them. But these weren't even in any kind of specific, like a box or a package that I could put them back in. And when you use the one individual hook, it's not quite so bad, but I might have to take these out of this room.
Yeah, maybe leave them outside for a little while. Let them air out.
I just threw them in the corner.
From across the room?
I just had to get them away from my face because I'm still smelling them. Because of the bag. So it's just when all the hooks are together, the smell really just like
overwhelming,
feeds off of each other. When you have just the one hook, it's not quite so bad. You just get a kind of whiff here and there. And I'm thinking that eventually it'll kind of wear off. But they smell bad. I'm almost thinking about just eating the cost and getting the $12 hooks, because what ended up happening is that I got the smaller hook size. I started working and the yarn was rubbing. Remember we talked about yarn squeaking? I finally got yarn squeaking because this yarn was rubbing against the plastic so much that you can just hear it every time I did a stitch. It was dragging against the hook. And I hate to believe that some of those yarn stitch snobs were right, but in this case they were right. These cheap hooks were not worth it. I would rather go and spend $12 and get the bamboo. So I ended up going back and using the bamboo for the project.
From the little bit that you showed me looked better anyway, because it was like, because it wasn't so tight, it was like looser and squishier, and like it looked
it felt more like a nice squishy. I'm using it to make a blanket, and it looked more like a nice squishy blanket, which, since I've talked about it so much, before I go on to the rest of my stuff, I'll just go ahead and show you that I have gotten no progress. This is Sydney's blanket that I'm working on, and this is all I've got. Is this start right here. But it was enough to remind me that I really prefer this bamboo hook. And so I'll be able to speed through this. So hopefully by next week you will see more progress. But also the only other thing I've worked on since last week, which wasn't and it's not much, because honestly, each row I did on this, like the 5th and 6th rows, I think I finished the 6th row, possibly the 7th. What does my phone say? Let's see. Come on, open up. Let's see. I'm using the Easy Nitty app that you recommended also long
It's
ago.
my favorite one. I will always recommend it to people. Maybe I'll remember to put a link to it in the chat.
Oh, no. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, this one.
Did I miscount?
Okay, yeah, I did row 5 and row 6. I had to pull them back out and redo them again because it was just like when you got down to the very end where I have my marker here, they didn't line up. So I had to pull it out, and I think now I've got, so pretty much I follow the pattern, and then when I get down to the end, I kind of fudge it to make it line up right because it's not lining up right according to what the pattern says. But so far, this is the front. So far, this is all I've gotten from last week.
It looks good though.
Remember last week, all I had was the center.
It's the orange, yeah.
It's orange. So now I've gone into this next color, and it's I like it.
Looks like the color. Yeah, it looks like the colors are lining up nicely too.
I like it. Yeah, if you look really closely, you will see that the orange, that I went into the reddish color on the last little bit of like row 4, but still.
I don't even think I'd be able to see that on camera, honestly.
But it's like right here. But still, this is making me really happy. I can't explain it. There's just a thing of kind of like with coloring when I use the Ohuhu markers, it just makes me happy to lay the color down on the page. This is making me happy for no apparent reason because I have nobody to give this blanket to. I'm just using the yarn that you gave me for Christmas.
It's just nice.
And unlike doing the other blanket, which I still like that other blanket pattern, but I feel like it would be better in worsted weight yarn, the one that I was knitting, I'm using the same yarn crocheting this, and this feels squishy. This has a nice squishy blankety feel, even though it's the same thin yarn. It has a nice squishy blankety feel. So I'm glad that I decided to go with this. So far so good.
How big is that blanket supposed to get?
This is supposed to use two skeins of the yarn.
Two skeins, okay.
Oh, two balls. It's the pattern's designed for 2 full balls.
Okay.
So it's going to get pretty big, I'm guessing. Because, I mean, I'm already this big, and I'm not even finished the reddish color yet. Or the orangey color. Whatever, but... And it is making me happy to use this 6mm hook. Is this an episode of things that make me happy, apparently? Because I don't usually use big hooks. For me, a 6mm feels kind of like a big hook. And... Okay. Why are you making that face?
A 6mm is a big hook.
Well, it feels fatter than, because normally I use a 5 or a 4. So a 6 feels bigger to me. And this just
6
feels
is like a little chunky, but maybe it's because I've been doing a lot of the amigurumis lately. Because when I do my blanket yarn, depending on which yarn it is, I will use anywhere from a 6.5 to a 9.
Yeah, I was using the 6.5 on something the other day too, and that really felt nice, the 6.5. I don't know if it's just my hands or whatever. But anyway, so in addition to buying hooks, I was not done with my buying spree. Thank you, PayPal Pay in 4.
Love it.
I bought more, by the way, which I'm not going to show you, of course, but I bought more of my crunchy garlic and chili oil. I am addicted to that stuff. So I had 2 things come in the mail this week that I have not opened yet.
So unboxing.
So Joann's,
Auntie Joanne's.
One of my yarns that I need for the blanket, they were sold out of. So I guess I'm going to need to pick a different color. But I don't want to have to pay shipping because I bought it all because they had a deal. And then I got the free shipping on top of that. And if I buy more, I'm going to have to pay shipping. And I don't want to do that. But But the rest of my yarn is supposed to be coming, but the blue for one of my squares is not coming. But I did get the Granny Square.
Granny Square.
All in one. And I got the color, well, this thing says Black Dove on it, but I feel like it was called something else online. But I don't see that other name. I don't remember it being called Black Dove. I just liked it because it was almost like a black and white yarn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has a little bit of cream in there. But I think Ronald got this color too. I think. Maybe. Ronald can tell us in there if he got that color. But again, I can't wait to, but I have so many other things that I need to do that I really cannot do this right now. But yeah. I just could not resist at least buying one skein of it.
Yeah, mine is still sitting. I caked mine up, but my caked up skein is still sitting in my drawer of whips beside me.
But because I'm while I'm in this fervor of finishing things, I really want to work on the blanket for Sydney. But I go through, like I said, Ronald said he has so many skeins of it, he has to go and see. But I go through this thing of, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this. And I flit and try all the things. When I get past this phase, I will calm down and just do one thing. But that's all my yarn stuff, but that's not all my spending.
Let's cycle back before we get all the way out of yarn, because I'm going to go ahead and show my stuff.
Okay.
Set my hook up there. So the market that we are doing on, what is this called on? The market that we are doing on Sunday, me and my mother are doing on Sunday, is called the Infernal Artistry Market. It's at a brewery. And so I am trying to get a lot more like witchy kind of stuff, like witchy, spooky kind of stuff for that market. So what I started with first, and what I'm having a hard time stopping, I told myself, I was like, I'm only gonna make like 5 of these. But I really want to make some more. But I've been making witch hats, and let me turn off my background here.
Infernal Depot.
Infernal Depot. Yeah, there's Fake Depot and Infernal Depot. But I've been making some witch hats. I used a different witch hat pattern than the one that I normally use, which I like the one that I normally use, but that one just takes longer. This one's like, the one that I normally use is a slouchy witch hat, so it takes longer because it has the extra fabric, so it can kind of like cute slouch down. This one sticks up, but it's cute, at least in my opinion. So I've got this one that uses the speckled brown yarn.
Oh, cute.
Yes, and it's got you're supposed to make a hat band to go with it. So I've got the band sitting in here with my golden yarn. I just haven't sewed the band down. Oh, now that I'm in digging. I just haven't sewed the band down because I need to be able to put it on a wig head and pin it and sew it. And I need a button, because you're supposed to have a button when you like sew it down. You're supposed to have a button there as the decoration. So, but this is the brown one, and then the rest of these I don't have bands for yet, because I hate making any kind of straps and bands and things. I was at Auntie Joanne's yesterday and really considered just getting a big ribbon and like gluing it down, but I'm gonna persevere. We'll see. So I've got 2 rainbow ones that I did, and this is, I can put the pattern in.
I like the rainbow ones.
Right? This is the Red Heart Super Saver stripes in Favorite Stripe.
See, that's another yarn I haven't tried yet, is the Red Heart Super Saver stripes. I really haven't tried any. Red Heart over the last 5-10 years has really gotten into like specialties. Mm-hmm. And the only things I've ever used are the Red Heart, just basic variegated, and then the Red Heart like camo. But once they got into like ombre and stripes, I haven't tried any of those, and I really want to. That's cute.
Isn't it? Even with my little puff in here, it's still like it sits.
And all of those all those you put bands on them.
I'm going to, yeah.
Yeah, those are cute.
Do a black band on the rainbow ones. On this black one, I think I'm probably going to put a white one. And then I'm working on like slate gray. Ooh, I'm working on a gray one right now.
What's the matter?
Oh, I was saying it matches. We're matching.
Oh, it does.
But with this one, I have adjusted this pattern literally so much. So I had the original pattern and I wasn't super happy because the way that they do the brim, it like curls up more than I want, whereas I want it to kind of come out a little bit. And so with every single one of these, I have adjusted it. So like with one of the rainbow ones, I just like finished off with this one. I did a reverse single crochet along the edge so that it's got kind of a finished edge, not the back edge, let's look at the front edge. So it's got kind of a finished edge there.
Oh, I like that.
Right? And then I adjusted the amount and the types of stitches that I did for the brim so the brim sticks out a bit more. And then on this one that I'm currently working on, I'm doing everything in the back loop. And so I'm doing the whole hat in the back loop. So that the front loop sticks out, and then I'm going to go in and my long hat that I wear that's got the rainbow spiral. That's what I'm going to do on this. I'm going to do a spiral going around on this outer loop here, but I'm going to do it in lavender. So it's going to be purple.
Oh, that would be cool.
Or gray and lavender, yeah.
That would be cool.
That is what I'm working on. Some of you smart people out there might be thinking, but Artemis, you just said that you sold out of amigurumis. Why aren't you working at amigurumis? Because my brain won't allow that. I wanted to make this switch hat for the last 2 weeks, and I have to make at least some of them so that my hands will do the things that I need them to do. Dear viewer, it's a problem.
You're so weird.
But yeah, that is what I've gotten. These hats I just honestly have not had much time because I've been stuck at work and work has been absolute trash.
Work is always absolute trash. What else is new?
Yeah. But okay, so you go ahead and do your coloring things and then maybe we can do some life updates.
Okay. And it looks like we're closing in on an hour, so we're only going to have our Instagram people for like maybe 10 more minutes.
Yeah, so if any of you over there on Instagram want to see, and I'll put this in the chat as well for anybody who comes on later. But if any of you guys want to hear the rest of what we talk about, like our life updates, what we've been watching on TV, me talking about 911 Lone Star, I have a whole rant prepared. Go over to YouTube, which is in my Instagram links. Go over to YouTube so you can hear my 911 Lone Star rant.
You're such a weirdo. Okay, well, I woke up early thinking that I was going to finish this picture. I don't know that, and I haven't finished it, so you tell me, should I show you where I've gotten so far, or should I just save it for next week?
Go ahead and show it.
Okay. Well, because I, for some reason, have been in the mood to watch, one of the people I follow, one of the gaming channels I follow, has decided to finally play Wildflowers after everybody else has already played it. She's finally playing it for the first time so she's playing it and all the updates are in it. So I was curious to see what it would look like if somebody played it with all the updates. Anyway, Wildflowers on the brain. So I went ahead and picked this page to color, even though
I like it.
I feel like this is very childish art.
But it's cute though. I like it.
It's a little too cutesy for me. But it's, she's got plants and she's flowering and there's a cat. So it just made me think of Wildflowers. So I said, let me color this and maybe I'll hate it less. Hate is a strong word. I don't hate it, but it's like that out of all the style, again, this is in my Best of 2023 book.
Yep.
Out of all the different styles in this book, this is the art style that I like the least. Yeah. Because it looks the most like a child's coloring book. Mm-hmm. And that's not what I wanted to do. But again, it's a fine line, as I've said before. It's a fine line because if you get something that's more of an adult coloring book, half the time it won't be color by number. And I need color by number because I can't pick colors on my own.
You could, you choose not to.
It is stressful to me. And then I don't like the way it looks. You see, I tried to pick a shade of green and I picked the wrong one. But also this last week I really should have marked these pages. I thought I would remember and find them, but
you need some bookmarks, some sticky notes.
I do. I need those little tabs that people use to like annotate their books or something.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's such a waste of money. Why would I need that?
Surprise, you need it.
But okay, what was last week? Last week was the 20th, right?
Sure, that sounds right.
So anything I colored after the 20th, because I've already showed this, right? Yeah, I already showed that.
Yeah, we saw that.
Huh?
I said, yeah, I think we saw that one.
Yeah, I already showed that one. So then I colored, I think maybe I only finished one this week then, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like I only finished one because I also showed you that one with the surfing. So this is the one I finished this week.
Ooh, I like that one a lot, actually.
Yeah, I like this one too. The thing is that you won't be able to see it, but I'm going to go close in anyway. With the white marks, like I said last time, with the white marks, I can't. It's hard to stay in the lines when the lines are white, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. With these mosaic ones, if it's black lines, then if I go a little bit over, you don't see it.
Yeah.
And this one, I tried to be really neat, but my hand is shaky, and I can see on several places where I really went over. So,
legitimately, if you had not pointed it out, I would not have noticed that.
So, I spent more money.
Ooh.
Even though I'm probably not going to do anything with this picture.
Did you get a white jelly roll to go over it?
I spent $4 and got a pack of 3 Sharpies, which haven't come in yet. But oh no, I didn't buy those yet. Those are on the grocery list because we buy stuff from Walmart and we buy our groceries weekly from Walmart. So like, if I need other stuff from Walmart, like deodorant or something, I just throw it in there. So. The Sharpies are going to be thrown in with the groceries. So those will probably come this week. So I ordered a pack of, it's like bronze, gold, and silver. Mm-hmm. So I thought between those 3, I could use those for different pictures.
Yeah.
So this picture technically is finished. But when I get those markers, I think I'm going to go in with silver because there's
that would be cool.
Because there's gray and blue, so I thought silver on the in-between lines would look good.
Yeah, and it would look like the soldering between stained glass.
Yeah, exactly. And then I will probably I like this picture, so I might put it up on the refrigerator.
Not on the wall next to Marilyn?
Well, I don't know if this is a wall picture. If it's a wall picture, I might put it, you can't see, but on the other side of okay. So you see the corner and then all over here. All these stickies are like my work stickies of things that I have to remember how to do while I'm working. But I still have this whole space over here. So I thought I might put non-portraits over there.
Okay.
So I might put this over there.
Yeah.
Because I think it might look good right there next to MLK.
I'm just here to hype up more wall pictures. You stopped doing the wall pictures.
Yeah, because I have this whole space over here too.
Mm-hmm.
But see, this I left blank because I toyed with the idea of putting hooks up there to hang my wigs.
Ooh.
But I might hang the wigs in the bedroom. I don't know. Although the wall in the bedroom is like the only blank wall in the house if I need to take a picture for something. The only blank, like if you need a headshot for, to send in for a job interview or something like that, that's the only wall. And this one, I guess, is, because if I stand up, you won't see the air conditioner. So this one is the only other wall that is like blank in the house. Everything else, you would see too much of our clutter and stuff. But I finished this one. Oh, and I did finish one more. Remember yesterday, I sent you a picture of this one almost finished.
Yes.
And then I said I was going to ruin it with the last color.
Let me see it. Show the people.
I ruined it with the last color.
Yellow is right. Did you have more like? I feel like yellow was not a bad choice, but if you had like a paler yellow, yellow is just. I thought it was a paler yellow till I started coloring it, and it came out because I swatched it. I swatched it a couple times, and I thought, okay, it's a paler yellow, but no. I guess when you lay down more, how do you do your swatches? He looks like he has a disease. He got that jaundice. How do you do your swatches? Do you do just a line or do you do like a block of color? I do just like a line or two. Yeah, do like a block of color because just doing the line, there's a lot of white around it, and so it might like make it look more pale. Whereas if you do like draw like a square, like not maybe a 1 inch, but like a 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter square, and like fill it in, then you'll see. I feel like more true to life what the color looks like. Yeah, so I don't think he's going up on the wall because he looks diseased. So yeah, like I said, I feel like yellow was not a bad choice, just a paler yellow. And I liked it better before I added the yellow. This looked like a complete picture. I could have left that yellow off and hung it on the wall. And I should have followed my instinct and left the yellow off. But I can pull up the picture. In certain ways, I am a rule follower, and it's like there's 5 colors. I need to color all 5 colors. But yeah, Ronald. Yeah, I thought it was a cool picture. So yeah, I'm a little bit bummed, but I still have other pictures in here. And yeah, that's what it looked like before I added the yellow. So it does look like a complete picture without the yellow, but I could have hung that on the wall just like that. I need you to buy the book again so that you can redo this. We need to give him a redemption. He needs a redemption, and quite frankly, Marilyn needs a redemption because I wish I had done that with red lipstick. I feel like Marilyn is perfectly fine the way that she is. I feel like he needs a redemption with that yellow. Yeah. But I feel like Marilyn looks perfectly fine. But I still have... What, you can't see the line? You mean the lines of the twirly? Yeah. That's what I've been saying. I really can't see what these pictures look like until I hold them up and show them to you. Then it's like, oh. Or even if I take, like when I took a picture of it yesterday to send to you, I can see better what it looks like, because when I'm just looking at it like this, it's too close to me and I can see all the circles and all I can see some of the numbers sticking out. But even these pictures look better to me because I'm sitting, a few feet away from it. These pictures on the wall look better to me. I can still see the circles on these from here, but still they look better to me than when I'm holding it in my hand. So it's hard. It's really hard to what's the word? Appreciate? Yeah, hard to appreciate or hard to have a good Impression?
Not impression, but like I look at it and go, oh, I didn't do that well. But then after I get back from it, get some distance from it, it's like, oh, it looks better than I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know what that word is, but
there's a word somewhere.
I do know the word. My brain just doesn't.
Dear viewer, when you realize what she's talking about, please put it in the chat.
But yeah. So I'm fluttering because I'm like, I know I had something else to do with coloring books. Perspective. Thank you, Ronald. Thank you, Ronald. Perspective.
I'm glad you thought of it because that word was never coming to me.
So
I just took my daily energy Ollie gummies. I have not had any coffee and I am just like, blah.
So yesterday.
All my troubles seem so far away.
Which I wish it wasn't.
Unboxing.
Because I bought it through Walmart, but it's like, it's Oriental trade. I wish for an easier world where one company was just one company, like it used to be when I was a kid. It's like, these books are made by Mindware. But Mindware got bought by Oriental Trading Company. So you go to the Mindware website, but it takes you to Oriental Trading Company, and they have a tab on the website for Mindware stuff. Like it's a tabbed browser. It's very weird. I've been to a couple websites like that.
I don't think I've ever seen a website like that.
Huh?
I don't remember ever seeing a website like that where it's got a tab.
I've been to a couple websites like that, usually closing websites, but Oriental Trading is the same way, where they bought a brand and they keep the brand instead of rebranding the stuff as Oriental Trading. They keep the brand as Mindware. And so then you just have the Mindware section. Same thing like on the Lane Bryant website, they bought the Cacique underwear brand. And so Cacique is on their website, but it has a separate tab. It's very strange. But anyway, so it's Mindware, owned by Oriental Trading, but you can buy it through Walmart, but they still send it from Oriental Trading because this box says Oriental Trading. It says nothing about Walmart.
Yeah.
So it's like, why am I buying it through Walmart? Well,
and am I paying more fees for buying it through Walmart?
It was actually cheaper and free shipping for me to get it through Walmart because we have the Walmart Plus that we pay for our groceries and everything, so we don't have to pay shipping for stuff. The Walmart Plus is worth it for us because we do
weekly
groceries every week through there. So that's another reason why if Walmart has something and the price is reasonable, I'd rather go through them because we're already paying for the. More and more, I'm finding that Amazon is not the cheaper option. But it's 1:13. Instagram's gonna be gone any second now.
Yep.
So coloring book.
Ooh.
Remember last week I colored that picture?
Which one?
The
wolf?
Everything's gonna fall. No, I didn't make a wolf.
You colored one that was like a wolf or some sort of.
Oh, that one where we didn't know what the animal was. I know what you're talking about.
And I definitely said that it was a wolf. Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Well, I decided to buy the book that came out of.
How does it?
It is Color Counts Tropical. And this has some double designs in it too, just like the other one.
Is this one where you know what it is or you don't know what it is until you've colored it?
Well, you can. Oh, I can't see. Let me see. Let me just pull this one up. This is the one that I just showed you, but uncolored.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you sort of can see because, like, you can see the sun up there.
Yeah.
Right. But like when I did it, I couldn't see the surfboard and the little man.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
And all of that. Yeah, you don't see any of that when you first the face you can see, but all the other stuff you can't really see until you start coloring it. Or like this one. Let me see if I can show it to you. This one has some faces in it.
Okay, yeah, I see a face.
But you can't really see fully what it is. But it's got some faces in it. So it's like that. So it's not fully mystery, but it's fun. I think it's because it's a tropical theme. I think I'm going to like it because it's, it's beach and fun colors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big animal person, but I do like oh no, I don't like this. I just read the back of the book.
What?
Okay, this has like double. So it's like got the same picture twice. One of them has numbers and one of them does not have numbers so that you can color it however you want to.
You should do that. So you should.
No, because I'm just not going to color the one without numbers because I'm.
No, but wait a second. Think about how many times that you colored a picture and you're like, I followed what it said, but actually I wish that this color was slightly different. Just color it the way it says the first time, and then you can try it out with your like swap out color and see how you feel.
Maybe. I just didn't realize it was. So this has like half as many pictures as I expected because it's got double of each picture.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still fun pictures, and the book was like $750, $850? It wasn't.
Yeah, which is not bad at all.
It's not terribly expensive, so. And there's no answer key in the back of this, so there's no. Usually with these books, they show you like the complete picture in the back, fully colored, and there's no answer key in the back of this one. So
I love how you say answer key like it's a test.
Oh, that's the way, but that's what they call it.
Really?
Yeah, when you get the books, they call it an answer key. I know it's not a test, but maybe if it was a crossword puzzle, they'd call it an answer key.
Yeah,
that's what they call it. So that's everything that I've got. That's all of my creative endeavors.
I realized before we switched to life updates, there was one more market thing that I forgot to mention because I just got the email for it this morning. I have the email for the ETSU market. They're doing the ETSU market again, which is
you mean that's the one where you have to beg them to pay you in Tennessee?
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. He says I need to send him an invoice so that they can mail me a check. So we'll see how it goes. But it was also like really last minute.
Didn't you say that there's a new guy doing it now? And so this will be your first time under the new guy.
Well, last time it was kind of under both of them because the lady before was kind of on the way out and the new guy was on the way in, but I was kind of in contact with both of them a little bit. So this is the first year with just him. And so far I'm a little frustrated because he gave me, he sent me the email saying that that the event is coming up. It's coming up on the 10th. That's in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did not give me, and for a big event like that, I know they knew about it about a month ago.
Uh-huh.
So they did not give me very much time. Luckily, it's on a Wednesday, so in 2 weeks on the 10th, I will not be here for the coffee Klatsch because I will be driving to Tennessee to go do that. But
what, you're leaving me to do the coffee Klatsch by myself?
I am, because I have to drive to Tennessee to make $600.
Oh no.
But yeah,
I don't know if I can do it by myself.
It'll be you and Ronald and all other people.
You are a goofball.
That song will never not be in my head.
Okay, I gotta get this stuff. I've got this stuff sitting all over my computer.
Yeah, because of all the frantic crocheting, my desk is just like a chaos mess. All of my like coloring pages are buried under yarn. There's yarn over here, safety eyes.
Oh, Ronald's gonna be in France. And
oh yeah,
we're gonna be gone. So you know what? That day might have to be a pre-recorded video.
Ooh. Oh yeah, maybe you and I can get together on like Sunday or something and like just record us chatting. And we could and then we could just post it like a premiere or whatever.
Yes, we could do that. We could try that out. So we have done the market recap. We have talked about the stinky hooks and the coloring pages. Yes. My avatar blanket has had almost no progress, but I'm hoping to work on that this weekend. I just really go with what I feel like, and I really was feeling like coloring this week, so that's what I worked on more. But I've got to get on this blanket. I've got to, especially before it starts to get warm, because spring is here. And as soon as it starts getting warm, because your sister is moving back into that room, so last year's solution will not work unless she is working during the day.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, we don't have central air because we just decided that's not where we wanted to spend our $4,000. So we have, it's been, I keep wanting to say it was like 5 years ago, but
you also want to say everything was 5 years ago.
But the pandemic was practically 5 years ago, and I know it was 5 years before that, so it was roughly about 10 years ago, maybe 15. It wasn't 15, probably 10, because I think we've only been in this house for 20. But
Mother,
what?
You've been in that house for a little bit more than 20 years. And you want to know why? Because you got that house when I was 10 years old. It's 21 years.
Oh, Lord Jesus, mercy. Okay. Anyway, last year's solution. Every year it seems like we have to do a different solution because it seems like something stops working. Like in the wintertime, we do have central heat, but we try to keep our bill low by not running the central heat very high. So like we keep the thermostat set at we just leave the thermostat all year round at a steady 70, or is it 68? And then in the rooms where it's chilly, we use little space heaters, and that keeps our bill reasonable. So, but every year it seems like one of the space heaters decides to stop working or something. And then every summer, one of the air units decides to stop working. Or it's like they're good for 1 year and then no more. But we have a good air conditioner in there. But since she wasn't living here, we would run the air conditioner and it would come all the way down the hall and cool off all these rooms down here on the other end. But now we can't do that because if she's in that room, her door will be closed. We won't have any air.
She will be hogging all of the AC.
I cannot work on a huge blanket if it's hot.
No air.
And technically I'm working it in 4 squares, so it won't be like huge on my lap, but still.
But you're basically working on 4 lap blankets.
Yeah, I want to get a good start on it before it gets too hot. Because realistically, I'm not going to finish this by May. Let's be real. It's almost April now. I'm not going to finish this by May. But I want to at least get a good start on it. I want to get one square finished before it gets hot. Is that a realistic goal to get one?
I feel like that is realistic.
Before it gets hot. So that's my adjusted goal. One square finish before it gets hot. Okay. Now I'm going to switch the banner.
Yep.
I don't know why your Instagram people haven't left yet, but
I don't know either, but they're going to hang out, I guess.
Happy for them. I'm going to change the banner, and then I guess you can give your rant about 911 Lone Star, unless you want to talk about. Oh, let me throw in right quick. If you're not using Disney, I feel like I want to cancel it because I just got an email. I was not aware that because we still pay for cable, okay?
Yeah.
Because we have that package grandfathered in where we get a halfway decent deal for although it's not the greatest deal. But your father won't cancel cable. Why am I trying to justify it? Your father won't cancel cable. Okay. Mm-hmm. He likes being able to flip channels in the morning when he wakes up and watch the different news channels, MSNBC and all that other kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. He's used to his certain people that he watches. And so even though there's alternative news channels that he can get on the free streaming services, he's used to his CNN and his MSNBC. He's not going to cancel. He's not going to cancel cable.
Okay.
So, and our cable and our internet and our house phone are all wrapped up in this plan.
The house phone that no one uses.
And the house phone is there so that we can give a number to somebody when they say, "Oh, can we get your phone number for blah blah blah?" So they won't be ringing our cell phones.
Okay.
But I just got an email. So I get emails from Spectrum every once in a while, usually trying to get me to use their cell phone plan, which no. But I got an email the other day about Taylor Swift watching. It said Spectrum and it said watch the Taylor Swift Eras tour film. And I'm like, well, I know that's on Disney. So what are you talking about? So I clicked into that email. Apparently Disney Plus Basic is part of my plan. And I did not know. I don't know when they added this.
So you're double paying for Disney right now.
So Disney Plus Basic is part of my plan. Well, we pay for regular Disney Plus. So it's no ads. Disney Plus Basic has ads.
I guess you can cancel the Disney. I haven't watched anything on Disney in a little while.
I know Eras is on YouTube for $20. Seriously? I know it was on Amazon Prime because that's how we watched it when we had our girls' weekend. We chose to watch it on Amazon Prime. I know it was on a couple different services when we decided to watch it, and we went with Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize YouTube was one of the options that you could pay for it on. But yeah, I've already watched it because we had our girls' weekend, but I was thinking about just playing it in the background again while I work on a blanket or do some other, do some coloring or something. Because I'm tired of just randomly skimming through YouTube trying to find something to watch after I run out of my few people that I watch. Mm-hmm. So anyway, might have to cancel Disney. I will not cancel it if you are genuinely still using it.
I haven't used it in a little while, so if you want to go ahead and cancel it, and maybe if I want to watch something, then I'll just send you some bucks to start it up again, so I don't have to make a new account.
But, okay, we have 30 minutes left. Do you want to go into your rant of Lone Star, or did you want to hear about the book that I'm reading before you go into your rant of Lone Star?
Let me do my Lone Star rant, and then we can do your book as the wrap up. Okay.
I thought your Lone Star rant would be be long, so
it's not gonna be super long.
Okay.
I feel like we'll have time. It's not gonna be super long. So I
hope I can remember this because it's been a long time since I watched the first season of Lone Star. But go ahead.
This is spoilers. I'm gonna pull up my I'm pulling up the Hulu so I can have the little synopses of
Your
the episodes
notes.
so I can go. I have like some notes, I have minimal notes, most of them are in my head.
Thanks for hanging, Ronald. I hope your meeting is not annoying.
Goodbye, Ronald. Okay, let me pull up 911 Lone Star because I have my notes, and then I also am following the synopses of the episodes from Hulu, just so I can keep it in order. Okay, so 911 Lone Star starts off. First of all, I want to say, as an overall, I'm enjoying the show a lot because it gives me the same satisfaction of watching like police procedurals and stuff, but without as much of the stress. Because in police procedurals, I feel like my stress comes from, are they going to catch the right person? Is this person going to go like murder another person before they get them? Or it like just the stress of that, and then like the victims and all that, like it's just a lot of stress around that, and then just like the legal system and all that. All of that is just very stressful. Like it is interesting to watch them like handle it or whatever, like in Criminal Minds or in the British one that I was watching that you told me about that I can't remember. What is it? Midsummer Murders?
Yeah, Midsummer Murders.
It's interesting, but also like there's a lot of like, are we going to catch this person? We actually think it's this person. Surprise, it turns out it's this person, whatever. But in 911 Lone Star, I feel like it is, there is a fire, we have to put out the fire. There is a child stuck in a tree, we have to get the child out of the tree. It's like, it is a lot more straightforward, which I feel like takes a lot of the stress off of me. And then also I feel like the episodes have a lot more like, they neatly wrap up things a lot more. Like let's look at episode so episode 1, the pilot, there's the fire captain and his son has had issues before, and he goes to propose to his boyfriend, and then his boyfriend's like, actually I'm seeing the spin instructor, and so the son like ODs, and the father like shows up to take care of him. And so they could have definitely drawn that out of, no, I don't want to live with you, oh, I'm not going to OD again, or like I'm going through all this stuff. They neatly wrapped it up by him saying, I will help you, you have to come to Texas with me. And the son is like, okay, I can do that. Like neatly wrapped up without a bunch of arguments. And then episode like 2 and 3, when they're bringing in,
I think I must have jumped into Lone Star before, because I think your father started watching it, and I think maybe I jumped in and did not watch that pilot episode because I know that's why they moved to Texas, but I don't remember the episodes of them actively moving to Texas.
There weren't any episodes of it. It was episode 1, they are in New York. Episode 2, they are in Texas.
So I think I probably need to go back and watch the first, because I think I might have jumped in on the second season, because we used to watch the original 911, and then I think I just jumped in. I don't think I watched the beginning, but go ahead.
I'm thinking after I finish the series, I might go back and watch the original 911. But so episodes like 2 and 3 are where he's pulling in the firefighters that he's going to have to replace, because there was the big explosion in Texas that took out the entire fire squad of like 126 or whatever number they are. And so this is when he is pulling in his people, and he brings in the trans man, hijabi woman, the probie who has been trying to get on this fire squad forever but couldn't. And again I was like, oh, this is going to be so stressful, because they've got like a hijabi woman in Texas and a trans man in Texas, and his son is gay in Texas, and the probie is Hispanic in Texas, but they fully easily and very neatly wrap that up of, all of them are good working together, all of them like working under him, so there's no like insubordination issues. And then there's the issue of the guy who used to be Judd, who was on the fire team, who was the only one who survived from the thing. And I was like, oh no, he's gonna and he's pissed off about all these new people coming in, and he's gonna be a good old boy or whatever. And then he goes home to his black wife, who is like, yeah, he's going to therapy. I love Grace so much. He goes home to Grace. He
is so, every time, because He used to be on a different show I watched, which I can't remember what show it was right now, but he was definitely that good old boy, bordering on racist kind of thing, and I thought that's where we were going with this show. And then he goes home to the black wife. Yeah,
he goes home. To his black wife.
You know who the actress is who plays his wife, right?
Who she was looking familiar, and I couldn't place her face. And I didn't look it up.
Oh God, what's that show? I want to say China McClain's sister.
Oh, maybe that's why she looks familiar. Because I know China from I saw China in a lot of Disney shows or whatever.
Yes. I was trying to think of the name of the Disney show that she was on.
Yeah, she was China
McClain's sister.
Oh, okay, that's why she looks familiar, because I was seeing the family resemblance. Okay. While you're looking that up. But she...
Yes, China McClain. She's China McClain's sister.
Okay. But, so he went home to Grace, and Grace is like, Dad, you need to go to therapy. And he's like, I don't need no therapy. These were my brothers that I lost. And she's like, okay, you take your time. She is like the voice of reason through the entire show so far, which I really enjoy. And then I also really like that all of the 911 calls that come through are her saying 911 if you're emergency. I really like that. But so I'm thinking, oh no, they're gonna have this issue and Judd's not gonna want to go to therapy. But then within 2 episodes, they wrap up. He's like, you can be back on the fire squad, but you need to go to therapy. And he's like, I don't want to go to fucking therapy. And then his wife is like, Judd, is not going to therapy better than not being a firefighter? Is that what's going on right now? And he's like, whatever. And then it cuts to them going to therapy or whatever. And him like getting over it. I mean, not getting over it, but like going to therapy and processing his grief and everything. And so they again, neatly wrap that up, which is really good. Let's see. Let me skip. So what do we have? There's
so far I'm hearing appreciation and no rants.
It's good. My rant comes with the very last couple episodes that I watched.
Okay.
But so the other thing is in season 1, the paramedic captain is, what is her name? Liv Tyler?
Yes.
Her voice weirds me out for some reason.
So whispery baby voice.
It is. Even when she's speaking at like a normal volume. They are at an emergency where people have things stabbed into them, and she's like, okay, we're going to come over here and check out and see what's going on. I need you to go over there and help rescue that child from the tree. Okay, can you hand me the tube? We're going to have to cut open his trachea. And I'm like, please have some urgency.
I don't want to give you any spoilers, but she ain't gonna be there forever.
Oh, I know. Trust me. Trust me. I know. I got to season 2.
I mean, I didn't know how much you watched already, but
I got to season 2. But so in season 1, the overarching stories essentially, because like I said, a lot of their stories, they wrap up neatly, which I appreciate. But they do need to have a couple overarching stories. So the couple overarching stories are that the police captain, who's the main character, Rob Lowe, the police captain has lung cancer. And he hasn't told his son yet. And so he's like stressing out about this, and he's like having coughing fits and stuff, and then eventually does go to get chemo and is like having his chemo without having told his son. So they finally address that like maybe 2 or 3 episodes before the end. Again, I think that it's going to be a big issue where he's like, why didn't you tell me, and blah, 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 and I can't trust you, and I'm going back to New York. But it was really just why didn't you think that you could trust me? I would have been here to support you with that. So I like that it feels like they have a little tension, but not enough that it's going to like mess up my stomach for 3 days. So there's that. And then the other overarching story is that Liv Tyler's sister like vanished, like disappeared. Like she was with her what sounds like terrible boyfriend, and then disappeared. And for years, Liv Tyler thought the boyfriend like killed her, and like loudly shouted so on the street which is crazy. She like went to his house and it was like the anniversary. It was like her birthday or something, the anniversary of her birthday. And she's like, let me in. We got to talk about this. And he's like, I have a restraining order. And she's like, oh, you're not going to let me in? You want everybody on the street to know that Josh Johnson is a murderer? Whatever his name was. Like shouting, and all the children are looking around. And I'm like, because that's how they first introduce her, is this woman like banging, knocking on the door, shouting. And then the police come and pick her up. And he's like, you can't keep doing this. And then she shows up as the paramedic captain. And I'm like, oh, so the crazy lady from earlier is the paramedic captain? Wow.
This show, I don't know if you've gotten to the really off the chain stuff yet, but this show is just off the chain.
It is crazy, but I feel like in an acceptable way. So that's the other overarching story, which they find out that, like, I don't know, I'm not super happy with kind of how that wrapped up. It, like, because they find out that it was just a lot of stuff. So she ends up going to a, like, for lack of a better word, like this, like Hispanic psychic or something. And the psychic is like, you need to burn this money under the picture of your sister and that will help you find her. And then she does that because she's like out of options. She's like, I'll just try anything. Maybe I'll find her. And then they find out that she was talking to some shady people. And then they find out one of the shady people had a blue truck. And then they find this blue truck like buried in the bottom of a lake. And they think that she's dead. They find some of her belongings. They think that she's dead. And then, like, at the very end of the season, she is at this because throughout the series, she basically off the clock, and I guess without the knowledge of the rest of the, like, paramedics people, will go out to, like, impoverished areas. So, like, homeless camps and areas where just, like, people can't afford insurance or whatever, and she'll give them her card and she'll say, if you have any issues, call me and I will help you. And she, like, gives a kid an inhaler and, like, helps give people insulin who can't afford it, and just gives them the stuff off the truck, like straight up off the truck without, like, saying anything. And so she's at one of these homeless camps, and then she stumbles across her sister. So her sister was at this homeless camp, and then it's like, basically they go into that her sister had schizophrenia, which doesn't develop until like your 20s. For a lot of people. And so I don't know, it felt like because they kept saying, like, oh, the signs were there, but I don't know, the way that they showed it felt like it was a little, I guess, heavy-handed or shoehorned, or like I don't know, they kept saying the signs were there, but then when they're doing these, like, little flashbacks and things, it feels like it didn't feel like the signs were there. It felt like they were just saying, like, oh, well, I guess she was talking to a lot of people, like a lot of weird people, like, all of a sudden. I don't know. I was not a big fan of how that plot wrapped up. And then, let's see, I think that is all that happens in season 1. And then we cut to season 2. Pandemic has happened. So first things first, everybody's wearing masks in season 2. Second thing is, Liv Tyler is going off to, like, work on giving medicine to impoverished people. Good for you, Liv Tyler, and all that stuff. But also, who's going to replace Liv Tyler? Gina Torres. We bring Gina Torres. I love Gina Torres. So
I forgot that it was that early. Yeah. So maybe I did watch a good bit of season 1, because maybe I just didn't see the pilot, but I watched the rest of it, because I remember everything else that you're talking about, except for, like, the first couple episodes. But yeah, I remember Gina Torres coming in, so I must have watched it earlier than I thought. But go ahead.
Yeah, Gina Torres comes in. I love Gina Torres. For some reason, in my brain, I don't know why my brain always processes this, I forget that Gina Torres is Hispanic, because in my brain, Gina Torres is a Black woman.
Yeah, because she doesn't have that slight, you know how some Black people have a slight thing to where in their voices, I don't know how to describe it, we have a slight tone to our voice that even on the phone you can tell that we're Black. Some Asian people have a slight tone where you can, even though they were born in America, they have a slight tone where you can tell that they're Asian. And some Latino people have that slight tone. Yeah. Where you can tell, even though they were born in America. She does not have that tone. She has the Black people tone.
I think it's because I looked it up. Both of her parents are from Cuba, and I think that there are some like Afro-Latina people in Cuba, if I'm not mistaken. And so maybe
there's some Afro-Latina people in a lot of countries.
Well, I didn't know if it was like primarily Afro-Latino, like in the Dominican Republic, or if it's like half and half, or if it's like a small part of the population is Afro-Latino. So, but that is, yeah, I did a slight look into that because in my head, Gina Torres is a Black woman, and then she started speaking Spanish to her babies, and I was like, what? It just, it threw me off. But so season 1, like I said, season 1 was where there's a fire at a manure factory. There's a fire at a cow insemination factory with a lot of bull semen, which was hilarious. There was a like kid that got stuck in a silo of corn that was like basically turned into quicksand, and they were sinking into the quicksand. Season 2, episode 2, there is a volcano in Texas.
Yep. That's why I said you need to watch Lone Star, because it goes batshit crazy.
It bonkers. Like the end of season 1, they had the thing with the solar flares where all the technology is going out, and they're getting the like phone calls from China and stuff, which ends on just a very sad note of Grace taking a phone call that's from an astronaut in space because of the solar flares, and that just ends sadly. So I'm not going to focus on that.
Oh yeah, that was sad.
That was tragic, so we're not going to focus on that. But basically, the solar flares, I was like, okay, it's the end of the season, so they're going to do something crazy. Sure. But season 2, episode 2, there is a active volcano in Texas.
Yeah, they don't see, the thing with 911 Lone Star is that they don't have to wait till the season finale to give you something crazy. There's something crazy.
We can't keep throwing kids into trees. Volcano.
there is something crazy every other episode of 911 Lone Star. This is just the beginning, ma'am. If all you're on is season, what season are you on currently?
I'm still on season 2. I never finished.
Okay, yeah. It gets crazier.
Yeah, I've got 1 episode left on season 2, which I will get down to where I stopped and why I stopped. Because I haven't watched it in like a few days because I'm recovering. But so we get to active volcano, which the poor girl there's one of the little storylines in there is there's this poor girl who started a food truck in early 2020 before they knew all this stuff was going to happen. And so she's on her like it's guac time food truck or whatever, like trying to hype herself up and listen to meditation tapes. And all of a sudden we cut away. Active volcano, surprise, cut back to her. She's in her food truck. She doesn't know that there's an active volcano because running from the lava are the scorpions. And so her entire food truck is covered from ceiling to floor in scorpions. And Gracie has to coach her to like go get the vinaigrette that you use for your salads and put it in a spray bottle and you'll spray the scorpions away, which was hilarious. Also, I love that they show, I don't know how dispatch normally works, but I love that they show Gracie just like actively like just Googling what's going on to do it. And she is an expert Googler.
Yep.
Anyway, so there's active volcano that happens. Also, it feels like they were setting up at the beginning in season 1. It feels like they were setting up for Rob Lowe and Liv Tyler to like have some kind of something, and then you
would think
it really felt like it, and then she disappears. And I'm like, okay, sure, because he's not married anymore. He has an ex-wife. So, and she is not with anybody because she's been going batshit crazy over finding her sister for the last like 4 years. So anyway, but at the beginning of the season, also his ex-wife came to visit him when she found out about the cancer, and then the pandemic happened, so she got stuck there, and so she's been living with him for a little while, and then all of a sudden they start getting hanky-panky because of the pandemic, and they decided they want to try to work things out again together. We will revisit this. So let's see. Don't need that. Oh, I like also that they, it feels like there are several things that they do that are like actual things that happen that they like, use as spotlights. Like there's one of the 911 phone calls that Grace takes where the girl is like, which is an actual thing that happened. There's a girl who's like, hey, I'd like to order 2 large pepperoni pizzas. And Grace is like, I think you have the wrong number. And she's like, no, I'm absolutely sure I have the right number. I'd like to order 2 large pepperoni pizzas to 123 Sesame Street. And then Grace like realizes, oh, she's in trouble. She's using some kind of code. She needs help, which is an actual thing that happened. So
yeah,
that is,
I remember that story.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And then let's see. I wish there was a bit more about the other firefighters, because it's focusing a lot on Rob Lowe, which he is not the most interesting person to me. And then I feel like the next biggest focus is like the son, who is also not super interesting to me. I want to know more about like the rest of the firefighters and the
there's more of it in later seasons.
Okay, because like they sort of start to get into it in season 2, because they go into the hijabi woman, or Muslim woman. Is it better to say Muslim or hijabi? I don't know. I guess Muslim. The Muslim woman, it comes out that one, they save, there's a roller derby thing. They save one of the roller derby people from this just terrible accident. And then she joins the roller derby team, because she used to be in a roller derby team. She joins the roller derby team. And in that same episode where we see her playing one of her games, we find out that she was in an arranged marriage since she was 12 years old. And but then they like, that is all wrapped up within that same episode. But
no, it's not wrapped up.
Oh, is it not wrapped up? Okay. So maybe they'll go back to it and I haven't seen it yet. Because the way that it wrapped up, from what I saw, is that she was in an arranged marriage. Her fiance comes to visit her, and basically they have dinner together, and he's like, hey, I've been in love with you since we were 12, but you clearly aren't in love with me, so let's go ahead and break this off. I know somebody else. Like, I met somebody else. And she's like, oh, okay, sure. And then she like has a couple days, and she's like, I just realized I was actually in love with him. It was like a slow burning love. It wasn't like a big you don't realize what you've got until it's gone kind of thing. And so she goes to talk to him, and he's like, oh, well, I can break it off with that other girl. And she's like, okay, so that's not we can't do that. That's not the point. Because it's like if he's so easily swayed to flip-flop off of the other girl, then it doesn't feel real, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, I forget how she explained it. It made sense when she explained it, but I forget how she explained it. And then they have the episode with, what is his name? Paul, I think? The trans man who
that's Paul. Paul.
Yeah. His mother and sister come up, and there's which also.
See, I thought all that was later. Gosh, I've got this all mixed up in my head. I need to go back and start watching it.
Yeah, that's season 2. His mother and sister come up, and his mother is like, they're doing a like cross country road trip in an RV that they just bought or whatever, and they have the whole storyline of his sister is really standoffish and kind of aggressive towards him, and then it like. Once they actually maybe sit down and use some words, I feel like more people just need to sit down and use some words. Once they sit down and use some words, they find out that because he was like, why are you doing this? Our mother's not super healthy, and this could like be bad for her. And then we find out that that the sister was upset because when he transitioned, no one explained it to her. She was like 7, and so no one explained it to her. And so she felt like she was missing out on something, and that she didn't like, I don't know. It was just something that was like, basically stuff he was explained to a 7-year-old, everything changed, and she like was not part of that change, essentially. And they also find out in the episode that they're not doing the road trip for the mother, they're doing the road trip for her because she's got MS. And so she wants to do this road trip before she like can't do any more road trip stuff anymore. So there's that whole thing. And then we get to towards the end of the season, which is where I get cut off. So we get to the like latter half of the season, and we start seeing clips of Grace and Judd, and they're talking because they've been talking to Judd's father, and he's like, when am I getting some grandbabies? When am I getting some grandbabies? And they're driving home, and they're driving to his house, and she's like, what are you going to tell him this time when he asks for grandbabies? And he's like, maybe we don't tell him anything. Maybe we have some kids because there was also the storyline of Rob Lowe and his ex-wife, she got pregnant, and so they decided to have the kid, and they decided to be together again and have the kid, and then they find out it's not his kid. Yeah. And she's like,
I thought all of this was like season 4. I remember all of this, but I thought it was all later. It was all season 2. My goodness.
I'm wrapping it up, I promise. This is season 2. So she, so there's all that stuff, and he's like, let's not look at it, because I will help you raise this baby, whether it's mine or not. Let's not look at it. And she's like, no, we need to know. And so she goes look at it, finds out it's not his, and he's like, well, I will still help you raise this baby. Like, it's a little frustrating, but I will still help you raise the baby. And she's like, no, I can't do this. I gotta go. And leaves to New York to, I guess, go find the actual father of the baby. I don't freaking know. Like, their whole shenanigans was also irritating to me. Like, Rob Lowe as the police captain is interesting, funny, charming, whatever. Rob Lowe in his personal life, and like, also he's depressed, which like, so some of that is just him being depressed and getting it. So like, it's not fun to watch depressed people, but also his whole shenanigans with his wife was irritating to me.
Yeah,
he could have been with Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, I'll honestly admit there are bits of that show that are not my favorite. I like watching them do the calls.
Yes.
You know, what crazy thing are they going to have to try to fix up? I like watching Grace do the 911 stuff.
Yes.
I like Grace and Judd together.
Yes.
I like some of the other characters, you know, like the hijabi woman, and because I can't remember any characters' names right now because I haven't watched it. I like Gina Torres. I like, you know, I like a lot of that kind of stuff. I like how they interact. I like how all the people interact when they're working together. But some of the personal stuff, like you said, there's a lot of focus on Rob Lowe, and I don't really care.
He's not the most interesting person there.
I don't really care about his character.
But I'm gonna circle back just a little bit because I read over one thing. So there was so there's the whole shenanigans about the baby and everything. There's also the plot line of Proby. I can't remember his name, but he's the probationary. He's a probationary guy, and he needs to take his test. And they finally go over the fact that the reason that he failed his test so many times is because he's severely dyslexic. Which why did it take this many times for somebody to be able to sort that out? But they find out that he's
because in our generation, I mean, I know he's younger, but in our generation, there wasn't. You know, you just kind of muddled along till you figured out how to do stuff. In the current generation now, it's like, oh, well, we need to get you tested for this and this and this and this and this and figure everything out. And everybody has some sort of, they're on the spectrum, or they're this or they're that or they're other. And I'm not trying to negate anybody's situation, but everybody's just more aware now. Whereas before it was just you just figure it out. So yes, you can get later in your life and not realize till you're in your 20s that you're dyslexic, because you may have had a parent who's my age who's like, okay, we'll just get through the best you can. They're not going to take you to get tested.
And his family's not up here anyway, because he was up here for a work visa or something. Because I think his family is still living somewhere else, and if he doesn't, the whole thing is because the plot of that whole episode is if he does not pass this test this final time, he can no longer be a probie, he can no longer work here, and he will be deported. Is the plot line for that, and so he is able to take the test orally, and so the another guy reads the test out to him, and they get the hijabi woman and the trans guy and Judd. And I think Rob Lowe as well. She splits up the books and has them all read the books aloud and record themselves so that he can listen to the books and study that way, as opposed to having to read it. So there was his little plotline thing. But then I want to circle back to one absolutely hilarious episode. The whole episode wasn't hilarious, but it was one bit. My favorite Grace 911 phone call is when she gets the 911 phone call from the guy, and he's like, Mistress just got stung by a bee and I think she's allergic. And she's like, okay, what's your name? And he's like, Mistress told me I can only go by Imp. It's a guy who's with his domination. And it is just the absolute funniest thing because he is tied up and he's tied up. I can't remember what they call the tie, but it's like, so his arms are like this, like over like behind his back. And so he can't get the EpiPen to jab her with the EpiPen. And so Grace is like, okay, I have an idea, but you're not gonna like it. He's like, what? And she's like, do you see any like bars or anything sticking off the wall? And he's like, yeah, I see some. And she's like, okay, so you're gonna go to one of those bars and slam your shoulder into it to pop your shoulder out of place so that you can pull out of so that you can rotate out of the hold so that you can give her the EpiPen. And he's like, I am not gonna do that. I'm not here for pain. I'm here for humiliation. And so Grace like full on dominatrix, like undermines him and humiliates him or whatever over the phone. And you see all of the other 911 people, they're like taking their calls and they like look up over their walls and they're like, what is Grace doing? And the other person's like, what the fuck is that? It is the funniest thing. And then he finally like does it and like does the EpiPen and saves her or whatever. And he's like, ooh, that was great. Can I call you again? And she's like, no. it was just so funny, that whole thing. And I just love the like look of the people looking over from their desk, like, what the fuck is Grace doing? And Grace is ever the professional. She's like, this is what we gotta do. This is how I will save your life. She does not care. And it is my favorite. She's like, dominatrix? Okay, sure. Going with it.
So they haven't done the episode yet of how her and Judd met.
No, they did. That's what I was getting to. Is I circled back to all of the other stuff because this is the stuff that I'm going to rant about because so they're riding in the car and they're finally like, maybe we should have a baby. And a truck is coming at them and they swerve. It's a terrible storm. A truck is coming at them. They swerve off the bridge. That's the end of that episode, by the way. We start the next episode with all of the things of how they met and how she used to be a phone operator for a like Christian help hotline. And how he was like troubled from an accident that he had when he was a kid. And they go over all that. And I'm like, but the way that they're doing it, I'm like, this is something that you only do when you're about to kill somebody. You don't show somebody's entire life when somebody lives. This is what you do when you're about to kill somebody. And they do that. And I'm like, oh no, are they going to kill Judd? But I'm like, no, they're hyping Grace up a lot. They're going to kill Grace right after they just decided that they're going to have a baby. They are going to kill Grace and I'm going to lose my mind. And so they cut back to her trying to wake him up and then they cut to more like flashbacks and they cut back to he wakes up and then she's like, my legs are stuck. And then they cut back to more flashbacks and then they cut back again. And he's like trying so desperately to like force the thing open and like can't get her legs out. And then they cut back and then they cut to him in the hospital. And he wakes up in the hospital and he's like, where is she? And they're like, the thing is, for so long, even when he's in the hospital, they do not very clearly say that she is alive. Like they say, like it sounds like she's dead for the longest time. And then finally they're like, no, she's alive, but she's in a coma. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the truck driver who's driving the truck was in the hospital and Judd sneaks off into his hospital room and is about to throttle him until somebody walks in and says, she just woke up. And he's like, she just saved your life too. You better be happy. Like, it was okay. So she wakes up.
That was drama. That episode was drama.
That was drama. But it wrapped up okay. And they find out that she was already pregnant. Like, how are you gonna throw that in? Anyway, and they find out that she was already pregnant. So she is like, they have a few episodes of her like hobbling around in the like leg brace or whatever and like trying to get around and like realizing that she needs to ask for help and not just try to do everything herself. They have that. And then they have there's the couple episodes, which these feel more like Criminal Minds, where Rob Lowe is like, he gets the surgery to get the rest of the cancer out of his lung. And then they say, this rank is going on longer than I thought. I definitely thought I was going to be able to wrap this up a lot faster, but apparently not. Rob Lowe goes and gets the cancer out of his lung. And then they're like, you cannot work for 6 weeks. And he's like, okay, bet. And he immediately, like, he starts doing stuff around his house, and then he goes to talk to his friend. Ooh, stuff's falling on my table. He goes to talk to his friend who used to be the fire captain at that place. who also has cancer, and so he
his friend
who also has cancer, and he's like, oh yeah, I spend my day listening to the like it's essentially the fireman equivalent to a police radio of like, oh, we got a fire around here on 124th. Oh, there's a fire over here. Oh, there's a fire over there. Like listening essentially to a police radio, but like listening for the fire calls. And so Rob Lowe is doing that, and then all of a sudden he hears the one is like near him, and so he runs over there in his little like gray hoodie or whatever, and goes and pulls somebody out of the fire, and then sees another man running away. And so basically, that to shorten all that up, Rob Lowe thinks that it is the old police captain. The old police captain calls a detective in saying that it's Rob Lowe. What is his name? The Texas Ranger, who is the father of Rob Lowe's son's boyfriend. The Texas Ranger comes in and is like, nah, Rob Lowe, it's you. I knew that you were suspicious when you came to dinner that day. Turns out all of that was a ruse. Rob Lowe, the old captain, and the Texas Ranger were all working in it together to reveal that the investigator was actually the one setting the fires. He was actually an arsonist. So they catch him, do all that, and he's like, yeah, you said you thought that you caught all my fires. Turns out I set 7 fires. You guys put out 5 fires, but I set 7. And they're like, what? And then he dumps water on himself, lights himself on fire, because of like it's a chemical reaction thing. Dumps water on himself, lights himself on fire. So he's dead. They don't know where the rest of the fires are. One of the fires is in the police station. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of everything you love. So they find out one of the fires is in the police station. They evacuate everybody from the police station. Explosions go off. The police station's destroyed. They're gonna have to rebuild that. Then they find out the second fire was at the 2 boyfriends. It was at their house, their apartment that they share together. So that goes up in flames. But everybody, they like at the very last second get them out. Okay, that happens. So Gina Torres is, and this is what is really upsetting me. Gina Torres is like, I'm going to stay with these people and help with to help make sure everything's okay. And we're having to reestablish where we are since we can't be at the firehouse anymore. And her husband on the phone, who has been a stay-at-home dad because their restaurant got closed because of COVID, he has been a stay-at-home dad with the twins. He's like, don't worry about it. I'll put the girls to bed. Everything's going to be fine. So she comes home, and I'm trying not to cry right now. She comes home, and he's folding laundry. He was folding laundry or whatever. So she's talking to him, walking around. She's like, oh, you missed a sock. Hey, sweetie, you missed a sock. And then it pans up to the most chilling death that I have seen on television, period. Criminal Minds, Midsummer Murders, like anything. The most chilling death that I've seen is she looks up and he is just there dead. One of his eyes has gone white and he is just there dead because he had a brain aneurysm. And I am so upset because there was no need to kill him. There was absolutely no need to. You had a volcano in Texas. You had a big wildfire in Texas, which I didn't even get to mention today. There was a huge wildfire in Texas. Yeah. You had Rob Lowe had cancer. They had you almost killed.
You had plenty of drama. You didn't have to throw that in.
You did not have to kill him. It felt just random and unnecessary, which I know that life is, but I don't need that in my television show. It just felt random and unnecessary, and it hurts me to the pit of my stomach because she gets in there and they have the scene of her trying to resuscitate him, and she called 911 and she is and they're like, don't worry, the ambulance is on the way, and she's like, tell them not to hurry, he's unresponsive, he's cold. And they're like, wait for the paramedics to decide that, ma'am. And she's like, I am the paramedics, this is Gina Torres, number such and such and such and such, paramedic captain. And they're like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. And it's just so because
I'm starting to get chills with you recalling it all.
It was so upsetting. And I watched the very next episode after that. So I have 1 episode left in the season, but I watched the very next episode after that of she has not told anyone in her life. She takes him to the coroner to get examined, and the coroner is like, oh, is this a case you're working on? You're trying to figure out what's going on? And she's like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on so I can let the family know. And then the coroner looks and reads his name and realizes who he is. So the only people for 90% of that episode who know that he is dead is her and the coroner. And she leaves the babies to get babysit with their godparents, Judd and Gracie. And Rob Lowe is in the hospital because he's getting a checkup for his lung or whatever. And then they have a police standoff in the hospital Because there's that other man who's like, my son has been in a coma for 2 weeks. They don't think he's going to come out, but they didn't think he was going to come out when he was 12 either. And then at the end of that episode, this random kid who did not exist before this episode wakes up and her husband is dead. I'm furious. And the baby still don't know. I am furious. So I am not watching another episode for like 4 days because I am absolutely furious about that.
When I recommended this show to you, I mean, I knew intellectually that was part of the show, but I had forgotten till you described it, how intense they made that whole situation.
It was so chilling, and I thought that I was upset when it looked like they were going to kill off Gracie. I did not realize that they were just absolutely evil over there. The writers for the show, absolutely evil. There was no need. They need to do Gina Torres like that. Either she just showed up. You need to do her like that.
Yeah.
She's still trying to be friends with, and we didn't even go over, like, because there's this other subplot of the one girl paramedic who there's a guy and the girl paramedic who were working with Liv Tyler, and when the volcano stuff was happening, the guy paramedic was helping somebody, and everybody was running around frantic because nobody knows how to deal with a friggin' volcano, and he gets hit in the chest with a giant piece of lava rock and dies, and she is like trying to like grieve over that, and also they're trying to get a new paramedic in over that, and she feels like she doesn't have any friends anymore because he was the only like real friend that she had there because Liv Tyler also left. Like, there's that whole subplot, and her trying to be friends with Gina Torres, and like them trying to there was just no need to kill him, at least right now. You could have at least waited another season. There was no need to kill him in this season.
Yeah, it was emotional. It was emotional.
It was just so like I felt like I went cold. Like the camera panned up and saw him, and I was like, what happened? Like, I would have been less upset if it had been a fire, if like the fire guy had set the fire and they just didn't catch the fire on time, or if if it had been Criminal Minds and there was just a Murray over, like. But it just being a fully random thing, and the coroner said, like, even if you had been there, there would have been no signs. You would not have been able to stop it. It was just a random, impossible thing to stop, which is just so scary and terrifying and like unsettling, and just because he was there in the house with the girls. What if one of the girls had gotten up to like go potty or something, and he was just there? It was stressful. So I have one episode left in season 2. We'll see. I will do another recap like this maybe next week. We'll see. But that's season 22.
So overall, you like the show, though?
Overall, I like the show. That last story bit made me furious. Very furious. But overall, I like the show. I will continue watching the show. I want to see like what happens, how it develops. Are they going to show less of Rob Lowe? But
no, they're not going to show less of Rob Lowe. I wish, but no. But there's more. I mean, there's more story stuff, but yeah, you hit some of the best story stuff. I forgot all of that was in season 2. That's some of the best stories.
Season 2 is wild.
When I think of that show, especially the whole thing of how Judd and Grace met. That's like, when I think of recommending that show, that's one of the things I think about is their relationship. Although my rant about that show, which is a mini rant, is not even a big rant like yours, but my rant is that they never show her properly put a head rag on her head when she goes to bed night. The way she has that head wrap on her head, it's not doing a single thing for her hair to protect her as she goes to sleep. Her
that
hair
was like a side thought for me. Yeah,
that thing is put on just to be cute in the scene because her hair is all out. And I don't understand, as a Black woman, has she not said something to them? Yeah,
why did she not say something? Even if they did not have Black women writers on the show, she, as a Black woman, should have said something.
Exactly. Why has she not said something? Because that is ridiculous. And she could have wrapped it up in a way that still looked kind of cute, but not have all her hair out.
Yeah.
that just annoys me.
Yes.
But
so overall, I do like the show.
Well, good. I'm glad that you like it. Once you finish that, I'll have to recommend something else to you.
Yeah,
since at least one of my recommendations has been a good one.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might like. Is it worth it after watching this to go watch the original 911, or you think?
I mean, it's a totally different. It's a totally different show. I mean, there was. I don't know if they had this episode yet, but there was a crossover where the Los Angeles 911 people end up on helping with a fire or something. And
yeah, they had that. There was a big forest fire. Yeah, and they came because there was a like bald black woman, and
I mean, for me, because both shows have the same crazy kind of calls, it's just it suffers from the same kind of problem to me as 911, where you say Rob Lowe, I'm not that interested in Rob Lowe. On the original 911, it's Angela Bassett, because she's the executive producer on the show. So there's a lot of focus on her, even though she's not like on 911 Lone Star. You could almost understand why there's focus on Rob Lowe, because he is the fire captain.
Yeah.
Whereas on regular 911, Angela Bassett is just a beat cop. She's not like a captain or anything like that. She's out on the street. She's a regular out on the street cop. Yet they focus a whole lot on her and her life and all this other stuff, and the things going on in her life just weren't that interesting to me.
Yeah, because that's what it feels like with Rob Lowe. It feels like Rob Lowe is a comedic relief side character that they forced into the main character position. Like, they wrote him to be a side character, and then we're like, oh shoot, we never made a main character for the show. Let's just grab this guy. Like, he is not super interesting. It's like funny that he cares so much about his hair and his skincare, but like he has a lot of like witty quips, and he's good at his job, but he's not as interesting as some of the other characters. Like, I honestly, if Judd was the main character,
yes,
or
Gina Torres.
Or Gina Torres, or even Liv Tyler. Honestly, with her weird whispery voice, even with Liv Tyler, like, it felt like there was more going on with her character and more with her as a person. His character just feels a little like one-dimensional, I guess.
Yeah, and so that's how. I mean, you can go ahead and watch it, but the two shows don't relate to each other. It's just like the same style of show. So if you have run out of Lone Star and you want to watch more of that kind of show, then you've got the original 911. Okay. Because it's the same kind of format. But like, also the other thing with these shows is that I don't really care about the what I call the big bad of the season.
Yeah.
Or what you call the overarching plot, where they were trying to find the arsonist in that one season, or they're trying to find, I don't care about any of that.
Yeah, that's definitely the less interesting thing that's going on.
I just like seeing them interact with each other. I like seeing the backstory, because they do different episodes of people's backstory, like they did with Judd and Grace. So that kind of stuff is interesting to me.
But I just want to see somebody's backstory without worrying that they're going to be dead. Because that's the other thing that pissed me off, was they did the whole like Judd and Grace, how they met, and then surprised Grace was alive. And then they did the same thing for Gina Torres, but her husband was dead.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like they were trying to like it felt like they tricked me, honestly. It felt like they were like, this is a cute little show and stuff happens, but you don't have to worry about anybody's like life or whatever, and they're okay. And then it felt like they tricked me.
Now, Jennifer Love Hewitt is in the original one, if I remember correctly.
J Love, I might go watch it just to see a little bit of J Love,
because she plays the Gracie character, the 911.
Is she as good as Grace?
And she's like a newbie.
Oh, okay.
So she's not like it's not the
Grace is very good at her job.
Yeah, Grace is very good. It's not, if I remember correctly, unless I'm mixing this up with a different television show, but I think Jennifer Love Hewitt is in the original 911, and she's got a whole subplot that's scary.
Ooh.
So
I'll figure out once I finish this show if I want to watch the original. I'll let you know. But it didn't take me too long to watch those first 2 seasons, so
because they pull you along because they're interesting.
Yeah, that's how I got a lot of that crocheting done. Was I just put on episodes and just kept going,
That's what I need to do. As resistant as I am to, my habit over the past several months has been to go into to just watch YouTube and watch little clips of stuff. But the thing of that is that I'm always searching for something else to watch after, I watch this.
Yeah, you watch a 15-minute video and then you have to find another 15-minute video that interests you, and you start one, and 5 minutes in you realize you don't want to watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're wrapping up.
Good morning. Good morning, Weevil.
He is saying hi to the dog, and we gotta go. We are past time.
Yep. Well, you were the one who was ranting.
I thought we were going to have enough time to talk about your book. I was like, okay, I know exactly what I want to talk about. I was like, I'll talk about the beginning and how I like this stuff. And then I'll get to the end and talk about Gracie and talk about Gina Torres. And apparently I just gave a full synopsis of the show. That's the only thing I can describe.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about my book, but
ooh.
We don't have to talk about my book, but because I'm still halfway through it. So maybe next week we can talk about my book. If we want to. Doesn't matter. But so, and I'm surprised that your Instagram has not cut out.
Yeah, why didn't it get cut out? Maybe it was like you can only stream for an hour as like a trial? I don't know.
I don't know
either.
But are you going to switch to our outro music?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Where is it?
Well, thank you for joining us for the Coffee Klatsch this Wednesday. We appreciate you keeping us company, and we hope that we were able to keep you company too. We are here Wednesdays from 10 a.m. Eastern. If you want to join us live, you can if you enjoyed watching this either live or after the fact. You can subscribe if you want to be notified the next time we are either on or have a video posted. And hit the notification bell if you want to be told right away that we are live. Next time you see us, we shall be here Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for Coffee Klatsch Playing Around, when it will be Artemis's turn to play some games. And
I may find something else. We may just play Disney Dreamlight Valley again. Who knows?
Who knows? I will strongly encourage her to play something else, but we'll see. But thank you for hanging with us, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye. End the stream. I'm playing with a stress toy.